Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am on a mission to let you know some things that I have found, okay? I've been listening to some preachers who say that manifesting is like tarot cards, you're not supposed to do it. I beg to differ. In the Bible, it mentions manifesting 5 different times. It mentions it John 14:21, 1 Corinthians 12:7, John 17:6, 1 Corinthians 3:16, 1 John 1 and 2. And in those, if you read them, and I hope you go to look at them for yourself, it talks about Jesus who manifested himself from the grave from the tomb to the earth. He manifested himself back from the grave to life. Jesus did. Now, if manifesting was not something we were supposed to do you think Jesus would have done it? First of all, in the Bible it says if you believe and have faith enough, it will happen. If you believe that you can move that mountain, you will move that mountain. That is manifestation, baby. Now, it doesn't say that you're not supposed to manifest in the Bible. It doesn't. What it says in the Bible is that Jesus manifested, and that the powers that Jesus has within him, he gives to us to use. So it sounds to me like manifesting would be one of those powers. Now, it does talk about tarots, and it talks about mediums, and it talks about other things that you're not supposed to do. And no, you're not supposed to do that. It says it's a no-no. It does not say that manifesting is a no-no. It says that Jesus did it. So some people have their information wrong, and I'm okay with that. I'm just correcting it, what I saw, because it made me think, is that true? So I had to go look for myself. And thank God I did. Thank God I did, because if I'd have listened to those numbnuts, I might be in the wrong. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called them numbnuts. I'm just messing around. Anyway, they're blessed. They're blessed. They just had misinformation. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about today was on women being preachers. Now we're going to talk about whether or not women should be preachers. Now, this has bothered me. This has really bothered me because I have been called by God to preach. I don't take it lightly. And it was not something I really wanted to do. It was something that God called me to do. And so I'm very, very sensitive to this. And I've had a lot of preachers come up to me and tell me that, men preachers tell me that women weren't supposed to preach. And I've had a lot of men who were not preaching at all tell me I wasn't supposed to preach. Well, here's what I come up with to find out. I looked it up. I went through as much as I could to find out what it said. Okay. In the original, in Timothy 2:12, has a negative meaning of domineer. In the original meaning, it was a Greek word, or it was a word that was turned to Greek, and it was turned to a negative word, and it was the meaning of the word should have been for domineer and assuming authority. But they conclude that Paul is not prohibiting women from exercising their right to preach. As a matter of fact, many women leaders in the first churches preached in churches. Paul even commended Priscilla and Aquila as co-pastors of his church in Corinthians. I'm sorry, fellas, but if somebody made a typo in the translation of the Bible, you're in the wrong, if you believe it. And it was a typo in the translation. And there have been a few of those. Not a lot. And it's been made by man, not by God. Most of everything that's been in the Bible is true. Point on point. There are things that have been changed. There were things that were changed by King James in the King James Version because he wanted to get away with a lot of the crimes that he did. So he changed the Bible so it would be okay for him to do that in his culture. But the original Bible is still there. The original Bible is still intact. If you go to any of the other Bibles, like the Holy Bible, you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. The true Bible. The King James Version, a lot of it was changed to fit his needs. I read the King James Version for a long time, and I didn't believe that until I found something in King James Version that I did not find in the rest of the Bibles. And then I became a believer. So, I hope this helps you in what you think about it. I mean, I can't convince you if you think a woman should not preach. That's all up to you. But I find it very funny that God called on so many women in the Bible, and yet they had no authority. Don't sound right to me. Does not sound right to me. God gives you the authority to do everything but preach, and yet we're called to go out and spread the word of God. That is an order by God. I'm sorry, but I choose to believe that God called me, because I know that I know that I know he called me. And I choose to believe that he called a lot of women. There are a lot of women who are preachers. There are a lot of women who are intercessors. There are a lot of women who are believers. Now, not jumping on the woman band. I'm not, because now I'm going to correct you women. Did you know there are more men believers than there are women? What's up with that? What's up with that? Women, you need to get on the boat. Don't sink it, get on the boat. Come on. If you're not a believer, look into it. See if it's worth believing. I'm not telling you have to believe. I'm telling you it's worth looking into. It's worth checking out. You check out everything else, why not this? God has been here the whole time, and he has been telling people the whole time what's going on, but nobody wanted to listen. Now we see it all coming forth in our face, and now we're like, are we listening now? Are we listening now? There's still a lot of people who aren't. I talk to people daily who are just completely blocked. Like nothing you can say to them is going to convince them. It's like their ears are blocked and they can't hear you. It's like their brain is blocked and it doesn't compute. So, and I believe that was done by our governments to block you, a lot of it. Some of it was done by the devil, and some of it was done by our government and the people who are running our government to control you. And some of it was just because you're just not opening up to it. You're blocking it. Some of it is just because you won't hear it, right? You won't hear it at all. But it's there. It's just because you won't hear it don't make it not true. And just because there's people out there jacking with your mind trying to make you believe it's not true doesn't make it not true. Matter of fact, it is true. It's the truest thing here on earth. There is spiritual wars, as well as human wars. And if you haven't figured out that they are one and the same, you're going to be in trouble, because you have to be able to fight off the spiritual to help your human, right? I know it sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's God. It has been God the whole time. There is a spiritual realm and there is a reality realm, this realm that we're in right now. This one that you see. There is a realm that you cannot see, a spiritual realm, where they are fighting for your soul. I truly believe that. This is not a conspiracy thing. This is not some kind of sci-fi crap. This is actual truth. And it's real. And if you open your eyes and you do the investigating, you will find this out for yourself. Anyway, I hope this helped you. I know I can't convince everybody, but if I can convince one person the truth, I've done my job. So you'll hear me talking till I'm blue in the face, because I will not stop until I've tried to rescue every person from this world and try to get them to see God. Be blessed. Have a good day. And bless somebody else.